Welcome to Exact Training and Maintaining SOP Code Data. During this lesson, you will learn how to add tax codes, how to maintain tax codes, and how to enter them when creating a new sales order. In MAX, you will define individual tax codes as reference codes associated with a tax rate and a description. Tax codes are assigned to customer IDs and shipping locations. During the order entry and invoicing process, MAX calculates and includes state and local tax charges in order totals based on the taxes applicable to each customer and the locations in which they do business. MAX also collects monthly and annual tax histories using the tax code references. These are the steps we'll go through to add and maintain tax codes in MAX. First, we'll go to the Sales Order Processing module. We'll click on the Activity tab, on SOP Data, on SOP Code Data, and finally on the Tax Codes choice. Then we will create settings to add and maintain the tax codes. We will define the tax rate percent, the GL account, the user-defined information, the rounding type, the decimal places, and the view history for month to day, year to day, and prior year. Tax codes in MAX are added and maintained in the Sales Order Processing module. From the Customer tab of the System Manager, click on the Sales Order Processing link to launch the module. Once the module is open, click on the Activity menu. Highlight SOP Data, then highlight SOP Code Data, and choose Tax Codes from the menu. The Tax Code Maintenance window will now open. This is the screen where all of the tax code information is entered and maintained in MAX. The first field in the Tax Code Maintenance screen is the base field called Tax Code. This is a 1 to 7 character alphanumeric code that's used to describe a set of tax codes in MAX. The code is user-defined, and you may enter up to 7 alphanumeric characters to define the code. Double-click the field to open the Codemaster browser and view any existing tax codes that have already been entered. Here we see the existing tax codes that have already been entered into the system. Let's take a look at the first code, ANNA-CITY, which stands for Anaheim City Tax, as an example. Double-click on the line to open up this code. The top field, called Tax Code, is the base field. Here's where you'll enter a user-defined tax code of up to 7 characters. Tax codes entered using the Tax Code Maintenance dialog box in the Sales Order Processing module must be different than those entered in the Purchasing Control module. Descriptions and rates may be the same, but the codes themselves must be different. In the description field, you'll enter up to 30 characters that describe the tax rate and the code. For example, the code ANNA-CITY might be described as Anaheim City Tax. In the tax rate percent field, you'll enter the percentage tax rate using up to 4 places to the right of the decimal. 5% is entered as a 5, not 0.05. This rate is the basis for the tax calculations for sales order and the resulting invoices. In this example, the ANNA-CITY tax rate was assigned at 1.5% rate. The GL account field is where the general ledger account number for the tax code is entered. The account is chosen by double-clicking in the GL account field and choosing from the available GL account codes that are entered in the Financial Integration module. The GL account browser will show all available GL accounts that can be linked with this tax code. Simply double-click on the appropriate GL account to choose it. We'll go ahead and close this browser to get back to the tax code maintenance screen. The next three fields, comments, user-defined key, and user-defined reference, can be used to store any user-defined information you wish to associate with the tax code in question. The comments field can hold up to 30 characters, the user-defined key 15, and the user-defined reference field 25 characters. Next, we'll take a look at the rounding section. Double-click on the rounding drop-down box to access the different options. The three rounding options available in Max are normal rounding, round up, and round down. Choose the appropriate selection from the rounding drop-down list box to choose how the tax calculation results are to be rounded. The number of decimal places to be rounded to is set in the decimal place field to the right of the rounding box drop-down. In the tax history section, we see fields that hold accumulated sales and tax numbers. Let's look at each field. In the month-to-date field for gross sales, Max saves and displays the month-to-date sales for the selected tax code, which are automatically updated during the invoicing process. In the year-to-date field for gross sales, Max saves and displays the year-to-date sales for the selected tax code, and in the prior year field for gross sales, Max saves and displays the prior year sales for the selected tax code, which are automatically updated during the invoicing process. In the month-to-date field for tax, Max saves and displays the month-to-date cumulative tax for the selected tax codes, which are automatically updated during the invoicing process. In the year-to-date field for tax, Max saves and displays the month-to-date cumulative tax for the selected tax codes, which are automatically updated during the invoicing process. In the prior year field for tax, Max saves and displays the prior year sales for the selected tax code. To enter a new tax code, we first need to clear out the existing one. You may either highlight the tax code and press Delete key to clear the screen, or press the Clear button at the bottom of the screen. Now that the tax code maintenance screen has been cleared, let's create a new tax code in Max. First, enter the user-defined code. In this example, we will add a code for the Arizona state tax. Next, click in the description field where we will enter a description that's appropriate for this new tax code. In this example, we'll enter Arizona state tax as the code's description. Next, click in the tax rate percentage field. Here we'll define the tax rate. In this example, we'll use 2%. Now double-click in the GL Account field to open the GL Account browser, where we can choose the correct GL account to link to this tax code. Once the browser opens, you'll be able to browse through the list provided to choose the account that's appropriate to this tax code. Select the arrow at the right to scroll down through the list of available codes that have already been entered into Max. Once you locate the code you want to use, double-click the item to select it. For this example, we will accept the default values for the rounding and decimal place fields and leave the comments, the user-defined key, and the user-defined reference fields blank. Click the Add button at the bottom of the screen to add this new tax code into Max. Max will then display a message indicating that the new tax code was successfully added into the system. Once done in the tax code maintenance window, click the Close button to exit. That completes the steps on how to add and maintain tax codes. The important steps to remember in this process are defining the tax code, adding an appropriate description, setting the tax rate, and attaching the appropriate GL account to the code. Additionally, the rounding type and number of decimal places, as well as any optional user-defined information, may be added in this area. Finally, the month and year-to-date information for the tax can be found in the tax code maintenance screen. Thanks for joining us at Exact Training.